Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be playing some more Grixis Pioneer, which is becoming a bit of a staple for the channel, partly because I love it, and partly because Pioneer is in like a weird state of flux where it changes all the time, so slowly but surely, with everything that's sort of hostile to us getting banned, Grixis is getting a little bit better, I feel. So hopefully we can show that with a decent result today. This is the latest iteration of my deck, so I've added a couple of Grasp of Darkness and a Disdainful Stroke to the main, and slightly altered the sideboard as well. Basically, I wanted answers to indestructible creatures, so we've got Grasps and Obnixilis to kill things like Hazaret, and obviously Grasp doesn't kill Ronus, but Obnixilis' cruelty does. Also got Angers of the Gods as my sweepers of choice at the moment, which I fear may be uncastable. We've got like 11 or 12 red sources, I think, so it's going to be tough, but we might be able to make it work with any luck. And just one more thing before we jump into the games, which is obviously the exciting part and the reason that people watch the videos. I just wanted to take a moment to thank every single person that watches, likes, comments, subscribes, anything, any contribution to the channel at all is hugely appreciated, because when I came into this I had low expectations, to say the least. I was and continue to be essentially nobody in Magic. Like, I'm neither particularly successful nor particularly well known, and you guys watch the videos, so thank you. Basically, is the short version. You don't have to, and you choose to, and it means the world, because it means, from my point of view, I assume it means you like them, and I take that as a great compliment. So thanks to everyone who's ever been part of the channel, basically. And yeah, without further ado, let's play some Magic. Also, I'd like to apologise for the long delay between videos. It's been like a week and a half or something since the last one, which isn't really... It's not ideal. There's a number of factors. Mostly, I have been a bit busy with real life and with paper Magic in particular. But additionally, sometimes I make videos that just don't turn out very good. And I've made about 5 in the last week and a half, and they've all been boring or unsuitable for various reasons. So yeah, that's part of it, basically. So it doesn't always just turn out that you try to make a video and it works. I guess we can keep this. The drowns are a little suspect, but it's not often you get to use a basic island to cast a Grasp of Darkness. Hooray for Urborg. Okay. Well, we're going to run out Jace and hopefully get a better idea of what opponent's up to after that. It does look like opponent's able to utilise our Urborg, which is a bit sad. If they're a black-based deck, it might actually fix their mana as well as fixing ours. Okay, so what does this say? Sort of Sultai mid-range Oko. Oh, Oko's gone. I'm so used to getting Oko'd. I'm going to play Blood Crypt tapped and pass the turn. See what we're up against. There's no real need to loot yet. I imagine the basic swamp is my best discard, but that's obviously you run the risk of not hitting your land drops then. Drown in the lock is also possible. See what comes our way. Caryatid. So is this a... this might be just an honest ramp spell. Or it might be a Jeskai Ascendancy deck, but I can't imagine they would need black. That makes my discarding a bit easier. I guess I just slam Kalitas. It's hard to say what's right, because I don't want to get 0 value off the Kalitas, and I was thinking if I hold it until a turn where I can play a removal as well. But without having the 5th land rolled up, and without having a guaranteed target, it seems better just to play it. So they can play up to a 5-drop. Trying to think what I'd be scared of. Niv Mizzet, sure. That makes some sense. And what are the reveals? So they're not going to take 2 Bring to Lights. They can't take that. Can't take that and that. But they can probably take those 4. And we don't currently have a good answer to that. Okay, their hand is stacked. That's something to be conscious of. So I think what I'm going to do is attack with Kalitas. And then if they block, I can shrink theirs down to a 2/2. Let's see what they're doing. They wisely decide not to. I don't think I want Jace to be a creature on their turn. So I'm going to do all my Jacey things at the end of the turn so that it's, you know, not vulnerable to getting attacked for 6. The big clock is like the least of my concerns really at the moment, because we've got a lifelinker. It's more about like resources, I think, which we're definitely losing hard on that front. I imagine this is a small Teferi, which I intend to counter. They play their land first, I guess maybe because of Syncopate or something. So let's go for this. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can see that very well. That's better. I've also been trying to work on a few things to make the channel look and feel a bit more professional and better. Sort of aesthetic stuff. So hopefully that will come to pass soon. Would be good, wouldn't it? Do you know what else would be good? Would be if one more card went into the opponent's graveyard and then I could drown that Niv. The Caryatid being hexproof is more of a thing than I realised. I imagine this is just Dreadbore or something on your Kalitas. So, is there any sneaky way I can do this? I suppose I loot first. I was just trying to see if there was a way for me to get a... Oh. There was no window where I had the 5th card in their graveyard, so I just have to counter this. And then flash it back on the Jace. Which is... on the Niv, sorry. Which is fine. It's all good. So that's the Dreadbore gone as well. So we're going to untap. Draw. Loot. Going to minus. Drown this. Take that tapped. Do some attacking. And we've got access to either growing Kalitas, if that matters, cycling the Fetid Pools, or using Grasp. My hope is that we can just kind of take the aggressive role in the game, because I don't think we're winning a long game. Like a Deafening Clarion and a Bring to Light are the only two cards we know in their hand, and neither is totally terrifying at the moment. I suppose Bring to Light probably equates to a Supreme Verdict, which is quite terrifying. Insofar as we need a clock. But if they Verdict, that cuts themselves off white, which would be nice. I haven't played against Niv in this format, but it feels like every other Niv deck in Modern or Standard. Okay, I think I can't do anything about that. Interesting. Yep. Let's make a zombie. The reason I'm doing this now rather than cycling the fetid pools now is that I want it to be able to attack next turn. It might look funny doing this into the known Deafening Clarion, but I just want to kill them. 7. I've got 11 points. Make that 13. Huh. Just going to attack for now. And hold up my mana and give myself options, basically. Like if this is Clarion, I'm willing to let that go because then I've still got lethal. And we got a zombie out of it. That's pretty great. So that didn't work out too well for the opponent. So they can Bring to Light to get a Niv, which you have to assume is what's going on. Or they might get a Supreme Verdict. Okay. Maybe I should have cycled this looking for a counterspell, actually. I've got one more Drown in the Lock in my deck, but... Or a Disdainful Stroke. Yeah, that was bad. Should have cycled it. They got Supreme, so they cast it. And we say okay. And then I'm going to say return target creature, you discard a card. Okay. I'm going to cycle. That's a good one. Okay, yeah, that took a turn for the better, didn't it? Yeah, I'm going to Thoughtseize. That seems like a good decision. Do I want to do anything right now? Yeah, if I play Kalitas, I can kill them next turn with the Fumarole. So that seems like the best decision I could make. I know casting Dig is always super tempting, but just playing a tune with Aether or something, opponent. That's fine. I'm sure we can beat that. Okay. this is a hell of a thing, the opponent's deck. So I can kill that. Problem is I'm still short on mana to activate my Fumarole as well. I think that was a mistake to tap that basic island then. I'm just going to wait. They get one draw step. Did you die? Apparently not. Oh, they did. Woo. Cool. That was helpful. So, Disdainful Stroke seems great. It counters Nivs, Bring to Lights, and Fires, and the Wish half of Fae of Wishes. I guess Noxious Grasp seems pretty good too. And then I don't think I want much else. Maybe I want Thief. But I assume they're going to side out an awful lot of their creatures. I don't think I want Fatal Push, do I? I guess I'd try Thief, because we're trying to grind, we're trying to outgrind, aren't we? Get rid of one Jace. The Jace is a good grindy card. Maybe I want Negate. I think I want Negate. I don't think I want Magma Spray. I think that makes more sense. And I don't know about... I know Kalitas just won the game, but I don't know about it. Let's see how that goes. I think I have to keep this. Be nice. I'd like the thing I want the most is probably just Thoughtseize, but classic, yep. Classic Kaladesh standard mana base. Oops. Don't know what that zone even is. What zone is that? Effects area or something. Classic weird magic rules. You got it. Do your thing, opponent. Have they got the Caryatid? They have. So they really get to go bananas. But we have the Jace, which is our equivalent. Little Tefts, great. That is a bummer. I'm going to play Thief of Sanity and hope it scares them. Because it kills Jace the following turn. We don't have to cast any instants in the meantime, so it's not like we're missing out. And there's a chance this might make them do something like... I just realised they missed a land drop. This might make them do something like cast a Deafening Clarion and kill their own Caryatid or something like that. They might also just like Oath of Kyrit and kick my ass, so that is also something to be aware of. Hopefully their whole turn is just activate Teferi and pass. Oh, I got them out. Yeah, okay. They have to reveal it, so at least we find out how we're going to die. Oh, Abrupt Decay, that's fine. So it has to hit a player to do anything. So I have to decide between wasting one of my spells on Teferi versus getting a trigger. I think I'm just going to attack Teferi. If they want to take their turn off to Abrupt Decay my Thief, be my guest. But I do appreciate that Thief is a scary card to play against if you sided out a lot of your removal. Which I imagine is what happened. Oh, 4-drop. Fires. Well, I've got Ugin, so I guess I have to let that resolve. The problem is that they can also Abrupt Decay. Yeah. gone. I'm going to opt. Feels bad bottoming that, but I think it's the right move. I just need to hit land drops so that I can Ugin away that fires. There's one. A good one too. There's nothing really to gain from doing anything now, I don't think. So they can't respond, which is great, although I don't know if they're playing counter spells anyway. Glad we got that little bastard. So they can play up to a 4-drop now for free. Brilliant. That's great. Yeah, you're welcome. I would love an untapped land. I'm going to cycle this actually. Try and hit an untapped one. Piss. Come on, don't let me down, deck. Yeah. Let's get that fire's dead. Although, is it better to... Is it better to just hold up Gear Hulk and basically kill the Fae of Wishes so that I can then untap with Ugin? That's probably even better, isn't it? Let's be realistic. So, in that scenario, just passing with all my mana up's better. I think. If they're just attacking for one, bouncing this and then casting Granted or something, that's fine. I can deal with that. Yep, this is all fine. Yep. They might regret discarding those extra copies of fires when they haven't got one in play. Okay, so hopefully this really screws them over, because they jumped through a few hoops to get to that point. I forgot to use Jace, which was a bit lax to say the least, but I think we're winning, and I don't think it matters. They didn't like that. Cool, that went well. Alright, round 2. I enjoyed the opponent's deck though, I have to say. That Niv Mizzet deck was sweet, so even if it didn't seem to be very good against us, it was still cool. Bad opener. Far better. That may be wrong, but I don't currently have double black, and I do want all the rest of my cards. I'm hoping the 2 Thought Seizers will basically let the game drag out long enough for Bolas to matter. An Opt to Syncopate and a little T. We take little T. Leave him with not much. And just pass turn. They cast not Opt. Okay. So they've held up Syncopate for 1, which I probably am willing to just play into. If they counter it, I probably would have taken the Syncopate anyway. This way I save 2 life if they go for it. I'll just get exiled though, which makes my Tasiga worse. That's a point. Might have been a mistake. Makes my Jace slightly worse as well. I don't know. Magic's hard. Opponent appears to be drawing enough lands, which is nice for them. I cast this and then play this Team Events tapped. I hope they don't have like a disallow as their unknown card. Just from the way they sequence their lands. Okay, Opt is fine. They've drawn another Syncopate. I think most of these decks play 1, so I would doubt it. Okay, yep. So I'm going to try to use Jace to clear away for Bolas by like flashing back the Thoughtseize so we know it's safe. That's my sort of intended route. That's a hell of a card in these types of games. Yep. That's basically all I have to say to that. Elspeth on her own because she's even more terrifying than the other two. I assume you just take Teferi and dig. It's not exactly meager spoils, is it? So we need stuff fast. That's not stuff. It's kind of stuff. It's a land at least. Okay, command, fantastic. I'm going to discard Tasiga. Do this now while we know it will resolve. So this will fuel that dig through time though, which is very sad for me, but I can't just fuck around and wait to die. So their hand contains still a dig and a Tefs. My hope is that they tap out for Tefs, maybe even tucking little Jace, and then I can kill it with Bolas. I don't suppose they'll tuck. They did tuck. That's the best possible scenario for Chris. Right. That went well. Right. Hopefully if we get to plus Bolas a couple times, that'll be enough to undo that big swing that the Jace activation got for them. Because I think that was kind of everything. It's another Planeswalker. Jesus. That's not good. Don't mind this. Don't mind. You don't want to do that. That's real sad. At least we get him back soon. Just below the Jace. So my next draw step is Jace, and my draw step after that is Bolas. The problem is they're going to plus Teferi and cast Dig Through Time in the meantime. Oh, they're going to get plus so many cards. This is almost not worth playing out. As crazy as that sounds. because obviously we've only been behind for one turn, but that's probably all it's going to take. Maybe I should have just given them the Elspeth in retrospect. I don't know. Because the Elspeth's not really card advantage, but she's just impossible to overcome in long games if you don't kill her immediately. And I didn't have an answer to her, whereas I felt like if they could just use their Tefts to minus on my Jace, and that was kind of all it did, I felt like that wouldn't be too bad for me. So this is my Jace, and I just play it out like a nice predictable opponent that I am. Okay, maybe they don't have counter magic, or they just don't care, one or the other. Let's just make a soldier. No, it's more dig through times. That's my most unimpressed sort of horse noise. Means I'm getting my ass kicked. Don't feel that I could have done much about that though. I think I've used my cards correctly this game. Just didn't necessarily have all the right cards at the right time. Opponent has a actual 7-card hand, like it's the start of a game. Joke's on you, opponent, because I only had one creature, so it's not even really a Wrath. It's like a 4-mana Fatal Push. What are the chances they don't have a counter for the Bolus? Close to 0. Close to 0. Oopsie. This is where they counter it and I concede. Yeah. Cool. Good games. Well drawn opponent. That's all I have to say. You bastard. Bastard. Not bitter. That's my sideboard plan for the blue-white, is just to bring in extra threats and counters and answers for their... Oh shit, hang on. No, I just misclicked. Please don't submit. Please. That's what I meant to do. With the grasps. That was nearly... Oh, that was nearly terrible. Grasp of Darkness versus Noxious Grasp. They've got such similar names, same mana cost almost. Oh, that was nearly very costly. Well, there we are then. This is my plan. I think it's a good one. I think my post side against blue-white is usually really good, but obviously they're capable of doing what they just did, where they just play like unbeatable haymakers every single turn, sometimes twice in a turn, and I'm just sat there like, yep, I have a Fatal Push. This is a mulligan because it doesn't have mana. This is a keep because it does. How about that for some high-level strategy content, viewers? I would love a Thoughtseize, but we'll be fine. We're going to Dreadbore their Teferi, or kill it with K-Command would be even better. Man, Flippy Jace is real good. It's nice to be friends with him again. We were like briefly friends when he was in Standard. But I wasn't really playing much Magic then. It was kind of when I was just about learning the game. Not like the sets after Origins, ones on Zendikar. That was kind of when I was learning. Okay, what you got, opponent? Nothing? Looks like it. Okay, I'm going to opt. I'm going to top that, question mark, I think. I feel like that's good enough to demand an answer. See what they do. I imagine it just gets countered. Yep. So be it. I don't really care about any Planeswalkers resolving because of what my hand is. Like a really good way for me to use all my mana next turn would be to go Dreadbore a Planeswalker, have Drown the Lockup, or Dreadbore a Planeswalker, if it's Little Teferi bouncing my Jace, for example, can just recast it. Oh yeah, that thing's dead. Well, I guess they might have an opt, which would be pretty good, but Field of Ruin is fine. I have to be a little bit careful about prowess, so I'm going to kill it with Dreadbore rather than... Oops. I'm going to kill it with Dreadbore rather than with K-Command. Okay, good, they didn't have an opt, but you can't be too safe. It would be an absolute blowout if I cock that up. Thor Erasure them. You can have Jace. And you can have Tefs. I'm going to put that into the graveyard because I can always get it back with K-Command later. So that's their hand. So they are probably going to cast Tefs. But I can just flashback Dreadbore and kill it, unless they minus on here, in which case I can kill it with K-Command. So, like, yeah, life's not too bad. Yep. I think I'm plussing if I'm in their seat, but I don't know. Okay. Just get their value. Do I get my value by just killing it with a Fumarole? No, I'm going to kill it with K-Command. Oops. Send a creature from your graveyard to your hand, do 2 damage to any target. Is Gearhulk maybe a bit cumbersome? Am I better off just getting the thief that I can resolve now? I genuinely don't know. I'm going to go for Gearhulk, and I'm going to sit on this Drown. We know most of their hand sucks. Hopefully this resolves. Oh, they've got a veto, have they? Of course they have. Syncopate, fine. Can't pay, so that happens. I'm going to be able to kill it with Fumarole, I think, unless they plus. Okay, these are less good than their hits last time. I think Narset goes on her own. Yeah. Obviously the perfect scenario is I draw a land and I get to K-Command. So they took the Narset, okay. Hopefully I just draw a land. But if not, Jace is still dead anyway. God damn it, that's tempting. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. So what can I do? I can take bolus plus land. I think that's probably about as punchy as I'm capable of being. So my hand is a bit clunky, but they're low on cards. We know they've got a Narset in hand, which is probably about to come down. This doesn't count as drawing cards, so you can dig through a Narset. Put Tef's on his own. Hope they don't realise how good the 2 cast outs would be. It's kind of like a psychological trick thing. I think you should still take the 2 cast outs, but I think that was also the only correct split, because it's very possible that they can do something like, yeah, that happens. I need to read a cast out because I think it says okay, that changed my plan. I was going to say I could attack that down, but I can't now because stuff. Okay. So their hand is 2 cast outs, which is probably what they're representing here. So I guess I just have to go for Gear Hulk on their upkeep. Makes sense to me. Or if they tap out now. I imagine that they're not going to. Dig. Can I get some whoppers, please? I'd love a thing that kills a Teferi. There's a Noxious Grasp, that does it. And Thoughtseize for some information. Those are good ones. They kind of have to cast out this. Well, they don't have to. Once Narset's minused again, she's done her job, so maybe they'll just accept that I might be able to blow them out. Not even blow them out, just attack down a nearly done Planeswalker. That makes more. Sorry, misspoke then. So it could be a backup Narset. No, it's a cast out. Okay, I think that's fine. That's what we expected. Stating the obvious, the intention is to Thoughtseize to clear away for Bolus. Okay. Well, we have some bad news, which is that their hand is stacked. However, it could be worse for us. So my feeling is that they're going to cycle Cast Out or Azorius Charm. No? Okay. I was going to say if they cycle I might respond with a K command, but they're being quite disciplined. We do know their whole hand though, which is good. Trying to just force some action. I think the right thing for them to do is to let this resolve and discard Azorius Charm, but that's kind of a bit of pill to swallow. Okay. So they've still got a Cast Out. But I can get an activation out of Bolus before they get a Rindo. I think that's the best thing I can do. So I'm just going to play him and plus him. Oh no, I can't plus him because of Narset. Do this. I forgot about his static. I assume they now respond with the Cast Out. That's what I would do. Yeah. That's a fun one. That is a fun one. Okay, what you got, opponent? Yeah, that makes sense. Now they know they've got a Bolus on the horizon that they need to deal with. Might have been worth them upkeep using Vantress as well. They played a land, did they? So they have got one card. I just have to hope it's not an answer to the Bolus. Can this resolve, please? It's not going to, is it? No. Piss off with your stupid vetoes and your good draw steps, you bastard. So yeah, we've just got this grasp, which will eventually deal with a. Let's see how they're scrying. Hopefully not top. One on top, one on bottom. It's pretty scary. Really, topping anything in this situation implies it's either like a generic good counter spell or a threat. My money's on the former. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to activate. So I want to use 4 lands. Oh, 5. I've got 9 lands, so I can do 5. And just get rid of. No. I'm going to delve everything but the Bolus and hope that they give me it. Okay. I guess I just have to fire this up then. They could make a token if they want to save Narset, but I don't think they do. I think they're better off using Vantress, and they seem to agree. Yep. They put 2 on the bottom. Okay, that's more comforting. That means they have to do it in their upkeep, right? No, change their mind. No, change their mind again. I do stuff like that where I can't really decide. Pardon me. What would I think the best thing I could draw off the top would be an Ugin, because an Ugin equals a bolus and an Ugin. What I really hope is that they keep a threat like an Elspeth or a Teferi. One card on the bottom, one card on the top. Okay, so they haven't kept a threat, because they would have cast it. So they've probably kept a counterspell. I'm going to hold the Thoughtseize until I have something relevant to do. I assume they make a token. Or scry again, I guess. Yep. One bottom, one top, as is traditional. Oh, those Vantress are going to run away with this game. And that has to resolve as well, which is real sad. The other thing I hate about Dig Through Time is it makes my Drown in the Locks worse. Like every time I see someone casting it, when you don't get a window to do anything with your Drown in the Lock that's stuck in your hand, because you don't have priority. Yep. Okay. Well, if we draw something relevant now, we might have a chance. I have to fire this Thoughtseize off, even though I have nothing really good to protect, because, frankly, I'm scared of them having the amount of card selection they've just had. Oh, wow. That is a shit hand, given that they've scryed 1,000 and then cast a Dig Through Time. That is a totally shit hand. Yep. Very reassuring. I still want them to play a white Planeswalker. Just play a Teferi and Elspeth. You goon. They just bottomed 2. Yep. Yeah. Come on. Ugin. Ugin off the top. Ugin. This is great. All the opts. Have they cast 4 now? No, they've cast 3. Ooh. Hello. Let's blow that up. And shuffle all their turds back in while we're at it. Yeah. They make a mana, but they don't make a soldier. Makes sense. I'm just doing that so I can start getting busy with the theme roll, and they have to actually expend cards on it. I'm assuming they don't have much. Oh, do you know what would suck would be an Azorius Charm. I bet they've kept some amount in. Please don't stone rain me with your Azorius Charm opponent. Please. I assume they're just using the mana while they've got it to Vantress. The reason I didn't blow up 1 Vantress was that they've got 2, obviously. They can absorb my negate, so I just have to let this happen. Which sucks. I need to try and cast my negate at a time where it's actually going to make a difference, basically. So like they make the first move with the absorb, and then I respond. So that means I have to produce a threat first. And given that the most threatening thing I currently have is a 1/4 that costs 4 every turn, I think we might struggle, don't you? What do you think, opponent? Down to 23. Pretty fucked. I think we've got this. We're losing big style. They're going to Vantress as well, are they? Just to really rub it in. Okay, that's bad. It's just 2 cards. If they let it go, they might let it go. I don't think they will. I wouldn't. Yeah, okay. I'm getting fairly close to conceding now. We've just kind of been ground into the dust. Which is a bit sad, but you can't be too bitter when your opponent has played pretty well. The joke's on them. I've got no more boluses. I bet they don't name Ugin the Ineffable. And yeah, of course, of course. I don't think it matters which. Okay, well, I have to go for it. They're representing absorb pretty hard. I don't actually... I just realised I don't actually have an instant to cast back, which is moronic. So they're just going to let this resolve now. Oh, I'm playing badly. I'm getting tilted because I know I suck. And you can't flashback Thoughtseize because it's not Snapcaster Mage. No. Okay, bad play, Chris. Bad play. Very bad. Why can't it just be Snapcaster Mage so I can Thoughtseize them? Yep. Fine. Okay. Well, at least that's a thing I can deal with. Haha. The joke is on you, opponent. Look at this. Boom. I presume they cast the cast out. Yep. So they have all the monks, but they don't have the big monk. So it's a win for Chris, right? I'm definitely not very far behind. Bolus. Okay. That'll do. That'll do. We're dead. We're very dead. I made a horrible, horrible play. Ooh. Okay, hopefully I can do a bit better now. No more massive mistakes, please, Chris. I'd quite like to play against something a little less grindy. Oh, if they're an only basic lands deck, this hand sucks. Okay. Ship the red one for obvious reasons. I think this hand's a bit better than the other one. Thoughtseize. Go. Let's hope the opponent misses their land drop. don't think that's going to happen. Oh, it's the same deck. We've drawn all right if we can get a land. We've got like the half of our deck that's relevant. Okay, so it's between Rev and Tefs. Nothing else is any good. I think if they don't have Tefs, then Rev's a lot worse. Yep, so I have to be really careful with activating Jace. I have to do it on their turn. Now I've said that, you can guarantee in the next couple minutes I'm going to do it on my turn. I'm going to look for a land. And I'll die. Oh, did they just miss? That's rather helpful. And unlikely. Okay. Please don't rev me, bro. Verdict me, bro. Sorry. I would like my Jace to live. Oh, they're going to Gaia reach me in my upkeep, aren't they? It's a bit sad. Okay. I think I actually prefer this to getting Gaia reached. Although, yeah, this game is done because we missed land drops. And that's kind of it. We're too far behind. Alright. I wonder if they know it doesn't really do anything at the moment. Kind of feel like I'm being given half a chance. I don't really get it. Okay. Good. That hand is stacked. I might have been better off taking the frickin' Azorius charm, but like, at least I can counter that. No, I can't because of Little Fairy. Ooh, this is getting sketchy. They're gonna sanitarium me, I assume. No? Wow. So they don't know the tricks. Or they want to hold up Absorb, maybe. They should definitely charm this. Be amazed if they don't. Or they could Blessed Alliance and then have access to Absorb as well. And I can just, like, this is my play. This has to be my play, so I'll do it. It will get absorbed. No? Okay. I'm not going to show them Bolus because they don't know that we're red yet. Oh, they do. They've seen the Dreadball. My bad. My bad. I'm close to tapping out. Okay, they let me. I don't know why they keep letting me do stuff. See if I can take that Azorius Charm away, so I can get in and attack. Oh, they've got two. God's sake. That is miserable. When you draw a glimmer of hope and then there is no hope. Well, we're sideboarding in exactly the same manner as last time, so Noxious Grasps, Counter Spells, and Thieves. And we just have to hope that we get at least one game this time. Opponent's got the greedy version with the Gaia Reach tech, which is both fun to play with and miserable to play against. Hopefully at some point in the next couple of games it'll bite them in the arse and they'll keep like Island Gaia Reach and not be able to cast their spells. Hopefully. Because that, I believe, is the main reason not to do that, is that colourless lands suck. Trust me, my Field of Ruins suck. And they're only colourless for a little while. I would like to play first. Mulligan. This is taking a turn. Okay. And yeah. I've done it. I'm going to just I'm not going to Thoughtseize yet, I guess. Just probably Thoughtseize like on my third turn. Have to say the old mull to 5 in this matchup feels awful. That's a good draw. Not quite as good as a red mana would have been, but like basically it means next turn I can Thoughtseize and hold up my stuff. I have to say I hope I don't get my like Thoughtseize vetoed or something now I've waited. That would be a punishing outcome. So maybe that was a reason to wait to do it earlier, but I just wanted to know what I was up against. Fairly easy Narset. I think they're thinking about whether or not to cycle the Azorius Charm, maybe. I'm going to opt. Okay. Have to say, opponent's hand is a lot better than mine. So, you know, good luck, Chris. I'm going to opt because it kind of makes me look weak, and they've got the dispute, and I hope they cast it. I haven't really got time for that. Okay. That's a potentially good card that I cannot possibly cast yet. Maybe in weird form, Mitch. Thief's good. Like, Field, sorry, is a good one. Field is a really good one. It's red mana, it blows up the Castle Vantress, although they've got 2 again. And it lets me hold up, like, it lets me effectively do 2 things with my turn. Can hold it, stroke and grasp. Okay. Let's get the basic mountain, which is the actual worst card in the whole deck. Thought Rage is really good, although I doubt it's going to resolve. You can Mystical Dispute that for 1 mana. That's probably what I would do. Still good to get the Mystical Dispute out of the way, I suppose. But looking on the bright side. The other thing about these bloomers is you can't really ever F6 because your opponent can do stuff at your end step. It's very annoying that they've got this Castle Vantress going, because every turn I pass is just like free value for them. Which I get is why it needs to be in your deck, but I can't put it in my like triple black, double red deck. Got like Nicol Bolas and Anger of the Gods. I have bought a Castle Vantress. I'm thinking of playing over the second island, but you kind of need basic lands. Are they missing a land drop? That would be helpful. Nope. False alarm. And here comes another scry, and it just gets worse from here. Yeah. Can't really beat this, unfortunately. I don't think there's any benefit to just jamming Thief, so I have to be patient. Because we know it will get syncopated. They've got enough mana that syncopate is very strong. Okay, now we go for it. That's ominous. Dig. Okay. Dispel. Disdainful Stroke, sorry. Hopefully they just have one Absorb available. Or indeed the Syncopate. So that all goes in my favour, which is good. Miraculous. Problem is we know they've got the Azorius Charm, so we're not going to get in a hit with the Thief unless I draw another counterspell. Like, we guarantee what's going on here. Because there's no way in a million years I get away with that. No way at all. Might have been wrong to play the land then, but I think as a general rule, it's just right to play lands, and keeping them in to pretend you've got stuff going on doesn't really work because it's very obvious when you've got nothing going on. And okay, that's a good land. I don't know what my expectations are of this. Okay. Well, the good news is they're running out, but not really, because they've got the Vantress. Ah, feeling feisty. That must mean their last card in hand is very reassuring, which is not good for me. We can afford to take hits off this for a long time. Spell. Doubt this is going to resolve. If it does, it might be good. Like, properly good. Yeah, I'm kind of done here. It ceased to be fun a long time ago. Let's play again. It's funny because the things that make me not want to play blue-white, like having shitty removal and kind of a load of dead cards against aggro, make it just really strong in these games. Who knows if this is a good hand? When you've got nothing else going on, I don't see an awful lot of benefit to firing off the Thought Seizes immediately. That's a reasonable draw. Well, we'll find out. It may have been. So we're just going to leave them with removal and take their threats, and that's good. So that's their hand. Go ahead. Abrupt Decay is particularly terrible against me, and the only thing it hits is Small Jace. Okay. That's a reasonable one. So I can... Really, I want them to play something else. I want their hand to be emptier. I want all the lands gone so that I can get some value out of my K command. K command is basically you discard a land is fairly terrible because this was free for them. But I kind of have to... No, I can wait. Okay. Let's just be bit more patient. Yeah. The obvious problem being that Fatal Push doesn't have Revolt anytime soon. I can at least stop them from being able to attack. I assume they're going to discard the push or something. Yep. So that can't attack, and then I can Dreadbore the Vivian. Can't imagine their deck is just rammed full of 1/1s either, so hopefully that's the Lovestruck Beast dealt with for a while. Okay, that's fine too. So their hand is Abrupt Decay and an Unknown. We draw Dig Through Time. Pretty good. I guess I just wait, because if I get to cast a Fatal Push, it's free. It's like net 0 mana when you're delving. So I'm going to wait, hope they make like another Scavenging Ooze or something. No, I can't do that, because then I'll not be able to dig. Well, we're just going to dig and look for like a Bolus or something. Take a Drown and a Jace. There's the Bolus. Oh, do I just play it safe and play the Bolus next turn so that they can't randomly find a 1/1? That's probably better. I can drown in the lock the Lovestruck Beast then. I assume this is going to get decayed. No? Patience, patience. I suppose it does look a bit baity if I've cast it into a known decay. Fine. That does give me Revolt, which means I can use my bad spell instead of my good one, which is very nice. Come on. What are you doing in my draw step? Creep. This should probably start to get into the point where they have to concede if their last card is Abrupt Decay and I'm plussing a Nicol Bolus. Yeah. Cool. Back on track. So what's good? Noxious Grasp seems good. Does Anger seem good? It's hard to say. I don't really want to deviate too far from Plan A. Plan A seemed fine. I guess Magma Spray is kind of weak against this deck. So we're just going to straight swap the Magma Sprays for the Noxious Grasps. There's a slightly upgraded removal spell, and then I'm going to keep the rest the same. I had a hell of a time this weekend. I played a very, well, by English standards, very large modded event, like 120 players, which is obviously small compared to GPs and stuff, but by like regional levels in England, it's pretty good. and I played Kiki Chord because I only decided I was going at the last minute. This hand looks fine, and yeah, Kiki Chord, for those unaware, is not a good deck. So that's a great draw. Let's see if we can take a 3-drop and then drown the Llanowar Elves. That's my plan. Okay, fine. This is even better. Yeah, knowing that your opponent's hand sucks is very comforting. Yeah, I played Kiki Chord. I played a pile of uncastable spells, and they were all fantastic. I won games with Jotun Grunt. I won games with Glenelendra Archmage and Eidolon of Rhetoric and Woodland Bellower and Zealous Conscripts. And all these cards that the bastards told you weren't good enough. But they are. They're great. I'm going to hold up Disdainful Stroke in case they've drawn, like, Vivian or something. And then, if they do nothing and attack me with the elf, I can kill it at the end of their turn. Well, this is brutal. Deals with both halves. Yeah, bitch. That was good. Gonna hold up Stroke. We just need to kind of draw the game out long enough to just keep making land drops, and then Gearhulk might turn the corner. That's bad. See you later, Gearhulk. Or Stroke, depending on what they've drawn, of course. I imagine this guy's going away. Whoa, okay. They have a 4-drop in hand, I guess. That's what we can infer from this. Or they just think they can deal with my Gearhulk before it matters. Spell. Okay. Gonna wait and see what they fetch with the Fabled Passage. If they get something non-blue, I might field the... No, I'm not. I'm going to wait and see what they do with their turn. Because there's a chance I just want to opt to look for an answer to whatever they're doing. That's fine. So, let's do it this way. Getting a basic swamp. Might have been better to get Overgrown Tomb, honestly. Spell. I guess it's not exciting, but it's some action of sorts. Hope they don't have another Thoughtseize now to take my Gearhulk. Oh shit. I thought about dreadboring this and I was like, there's no way their curve goes up to 6, and then this happens. Okay. Fine. Fine. I'll have to be a bit contrite and apologetic because that Garrick was good. I'm going to get beaten down by those stupid wolves now. Don't have another one. Don't have another one. Fine, that I can handle. Because next turn we're going to Gearhulk into... Have I got anything exciting? Probably just drown and just clean up in blocks. Okay. Do your worst, opponent. They can't really attack. That's the exciting part. Although it will put loyalty on their Garruk Planeswalkers. Do they attack? I'm not sure. I don't think they do. Not unless they have an instant speed. Okay, well. Kill that one. Block there. Do they have a way to punish me for this? Do they have like a Grasp of Darkness or something for my Gearhulk? Was it a bait? Maybe not. Okay, that's fine. So Vivian's down. But they have a 3-3 and I'm on 7. So I'm falling to 4. AKA... Well, I'm not necessarily dead to Questing Beast because I can chump block the Llanowar Elves if I need to. But... If they don't play a Questing Beast... Okay, fine. Fine. Nobody's got anything, basically. And I'm at 4, but... What are you doing? Oh, he's always weird in my draw step. I hope their last card isn't another removal spell. Because then I'll obviously regret not attacking, but at the same time I have to try to... I mean, look at life totals, I'm clearly not attacking on this board. I should have probably on average more powerful top decks than them. There's a good one. Mush. What's the single card I want back the most? Jace, I guess. So if I go... like this. Can activate and hopefully get a Jace as well. Oh, a Dreadball, that's good too. What would you like me to have? Okay, I would like you to not have that. Just in case they have removal. And now we've got like 2 Tasigur activations a turn. And a big board. Huzzah! I think they're dead. Well, something like Garruk would be good. Okay, Jace isn't very good. Oh! Oh, looks like I'm getting my Jace back. Yeah. Yeah, between a rock and a hard place. They can't block. That would be ridiculous. Because the Jace is going to flip next turn. And then they can Abrupt Decay none of my stuff. Or they can Thoughtseize me for lethal. So maybe Jace flipping isn't very good. I'm just gonna hold up Tasigur activations. I think the best use they've got of Jace now is to block and flip. So they probably shouldn't flip now because their graveyard's shite. Okay, suit yourself. Maybe they're just digging for a sorcery speed thing. Cool. So we're 2-2, and we're undefeated against decks that aren't blue-white drawing brilliantly. Realistically, it's Castle Vantress that's been killing me, isn't it? I was considering putting Searchraz Cantor in the deck over one of the small Jaces. Maybe that's a potential like upgrade that can go toe to toe and more with Vantress. Something to consider at least. Oh, going back to the Kiki Chord in the event situation, if you're wondering if it went well at all, because obviously Kiki Chord it's a bad deck from the past. After 4 of 7 rounds, I was, I think, top of the Swiss, and then the wheels came off, and I ended up 4-3. But like after 4 rounds, nobody could survive. I'm telling you, and I nearly won round 5, which would have been a winning in because then I could have drawn out into the top 8. So it was a bit of a tilting way to go, but it's fine. It's fine. Shijmi. That's a hard... Shijmi. That is a hard thing to say. I'm probably butchering it. I imagine that is an actual name from another culture, and I'm being really disrespectful. That goes away. Thoughtseize is probably not very exciting. Small Jace, what can you do? Like, I see an Inspiring Vantage and I just assume it's an aggressive deck. I could be completely wrong, but casting Thoughtseize against aggro seems bad. Oh god, is it an Eidolon? Okay, it's that thing. Hopefully I'll draw some removal. So we're playing against Boros Feather. I'm going to take the big hits here, aren't I? I have to opt looking for exactly Fatal Push now. Okay. Things have taken a turn. Well, actually, I don't think we were ever really in control of this game. So they basically are just cantripping and growing their guy. Oh, and giving it trample too. And I guess they hold up protection for the rest of the turn. So red mana would mean I could Dreadbore into Drown. That has to be the plan. Oops. Dreadbore, black, red. And then they protect it in some fashion, probably God's willing. We have to hope this resolves. Otherwise we're boned. Good. Well, half their shit has haste, so I'm going to do my loot at the end of their turn. Discard... Like, I need a land, and I want to cast Bolas next turn, so anything else is gravy. Okay, we need to kill that. Actually, we don't. We can plus Jace on it. Discard that. Cast this. Plus on them. They have to exile something. I'd imagine it would just be like this plains or something. Plus on that. So they can't recast cards from their graveyard, and we say go. Couple of turns of this, if we don't just die this turn, should be enough. We appear to just be dying this turn. Yeah, that's 9. Fuck me. Did I punt? I don't know. Maybe it might have been safer to try and get this dead before casting Bolus. Oh. Yep. So that's 10 in fact. Assuming they remember to recast the Titan Strength correctly. Yeah, maybe I did punt. I don't know. I think I might have underestimated how dead I was. Well, clearly I did. Yeah, it's at me, yeah. Okay. Well, the good news is previously we've beaten up on Boros Feather. So, might be helpful. I imagine we want the grasps. I imagine we just want maximum removal. And cheap stuff. And we probably want no Jaces. We want to speed up a bit. We probably don't want too many Thought Seizers. I'm going to leave 2 in. Same goes. I'm going to cut the Thought Erasures completely. And I'm going to cut 1 Gear Hulk. And I'm going to submit like that. So I've just become mono removal. Okay. So we have access to Magma Spray but no black mana. I think I have to mulligan this. I think I have to keep this. So I'm hoping they have 2 creatures. And we can beat that. Or no more than 2 creatures, I should say. Fry I don't care about. They kept a 1-lander. Shit. Okay, well I'm going to take the cheaper ones and leave them with Feather and hope I don't get punished for it. That's pretty punishing just on its own. The existence of that in my hand is like... This is one of many reasons why I'm thinking Anger of the Gods is unplayable in this deck. Well, no, it's the reason. The fact you can never cast it. But they've missed lands, so that's great. Okay. Bastards. Really? Let's hope they don't draw land. Of course they did. Oh, of course they did. I'm just playing this out because it's too big to doesn't die to any of the stuff they've got in their hand. Basically. But I'm about to take a huge amount of damage. The other reason I played that out was because it was the only choice I had. This matchup should be really good though. So don't despair if you have a feather opponent in your local meta. It's not a big deal. It just appears that we're losing this time. Okay. That's a lot of value. So where do they go into exile? Good lord. Okay, well, I need to kill that feather on my turn, basically. Otherwise I'm dead next turn. So that's fun. What a good game. I should have won game one. I kind of blew that. It's probably all because I was badly pronouncing the name. Okay, let's just try it. Oh shit, they've only got 2 things in the graveyard. And yeah, they're not going to put anything else in the graveyard, are they? Because they're all going to target feather and go into exile. So all I can do is try and counter a spell. If they... Dear me, this is bad. If they get up to near 8 power, I just have to act. So, yeah, I have to try and counter this. Hopefully that now sends it to the graveyard. Then I can draw another drown as an out or something. But I think this one's done. Yeah, that's good. That does... I didn't know if it would still get exiled or not, but that's fine. And by fine, I mean we're probably not dead this turn, but we are still probably dead. Yep. There's not really anything I can do. Just dead in the air. Okay, well, we lost a good matchup. It is what it is. Usually you can just cut them off of spells and you win. But yeah, that is another Grixis League. Not such a good one this time. Only 2 and 3, but what can I say? You can't win all the time. In fact, I'm very good at not winning most of the time. But yeah, the deck I still think is improving. Well, no. The decks that were crushing us keep getting banned because they're not fair. And slowly but surely this deck is just becoming relevant. I'm still not happy with the configuration. I'm going to keep playing about with it. I have a Pioneer event this weekend, which will be my first paper Pioneer event outside of like my local group. So I'll let you know how that goes. And the ongoing Grixis Pioneer League that, well, the long-term Grixis Pioneer League I played in Oxford with my friends over the last 6 weeks, that's finished. And I ended up winning. Sorry, I was playing Grixis, not everyone, I should add. It was a normal, like, weekly matches in Pioneer, so Grixis at least worked there. I think it's got potential. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching, and see you all next time.